Whether it's big hits or high speed, fork setup can be mystifying, but it really shouldn't be, and hopefully after this video, you'll have the confidence to try it out for yourself. Check out Jensen USA for all your Ohlins and suspension needs. Links are in the description below. I went with the Ohlins DH38 for a few reasons, but it was the 3-chamber air spring that really sold me. No tokens to fuss with and plenty of adjustment to get things dialed. All right, so today we are setting up the Ohlins DH38 M.1. This fork I've been running for a season, so I have a pretty good idea of how to set it up, but I just gotta check those settings because it has been months since I rode it. And if you're looking to set up your own fork, on the back here, there are some settings to start with. One of the important things to note is you do want to start setting up the ramp chamber first. So we have the cover, and then we have the Schrader valve cap. I keep these air pressures in a chart on my phone, so I know I want to set the PSI on this to 235. .237 should be good. Reinstall the Schrader valve cap, as well as the protective one. Next, we're going to do the main chamber. So this is how you get your sag. And we're going to pump this guy up to 110 PSI. All right. Ohlins recommends about 20 to 25% sag for the forks. I am running 15 on my Rochshox Zeb as well as my Fox 38, but I do remember going right about 20 last year on this. So then we'll check the sag. Checking the sag, want to make sure we break into that travel. No brakes, and I'm going to slide this down and get off the bike, off the back, to keep that from bouncing too much. Next, we're going to measure it. So we're measuring it from the bottom. You're looking right at 30. And we want to take that out of 200. We could measure the whole stanchion, but because we can change how the stanchion sits in the crowns, we actually are going to do it based on 200, which is how much travel this fork has. It looks like the setting I had written down put me at 15%. And when I hopped on the bike before filming, I was right at 17%. I'm guessing I had increased the pressure from the initial setup last season. That said, air pressure and rebound are easily the most important. You don't need to run 15 or 20% sag exactly, but if you're running over 25 or under 15, you may want to reset your baseline. Woo! That is a compression and a half. All right, so the next and probably the next most important step is going to be to set that rebound. So sag, definitely where you want to start. Once you get that fork set, it's important to have control over how fast that spring rebounds. So the rebound here is on this side of the fork now. Still have a safety cap or a protective cap there. And as with my Fox suspension, I always like to go from completely closed. So we're going to turn it completely clockwise. And then we're going to back this one off 9 clicks. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So the other thing to note is it is clockwise when you're looking at the bolt. As far as the rebound goes, you're looking for this to return basically as fast as possible without bouncing off the ground. So give it some good pressure and release it. And you want it to stay stuck to the ground, but still return quickly. Again, I had this fork on last year, so that 9 clicks is what I'm used to. Lastly, we're gonna wanna set up the damper, and that's gonna be these 2 dials on the top. This Ohlins fork has high speed compression as well as low speed compression. And just to specify, the blue here with the LS is the low speed compression, pretty obvious, but it's this black dial underneath that's your high speed compression. You only have 3 clicks of high speed, so I just go 1 in. But on low speed, you have about 16, which is a really nice amount to dial in how the whole fork feels. After last season, I was running it right at 8 clicks from closed. So I'm gonna close it by going all the way clockwise. And then back it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that should be set. If this is your first fork though, the high and low speed compression is a pretty preferential setup. You don't want the fork diving when you're hitting rocks fast or hard, but you also don't want it so hard that your hands are feeling every impact from the ground. Let's talk about bracketing. This is definitely a step above just setting the sag, but it's worth it, especially on these Ohlins forks. They did a great job of making all the settings usable. I found that some brands in the past, having all the compression open or closed can make the fork feel either super springy or nearly impossible to compress. So the best practice is definitely to get out and ride it. If you have a short section of trail to repeat multiple times, that is ideal. And one of the fun things to do is if you start by clicking it all the way in and then give it a good feel, you should be able to feel a difference between all the way in and all the way out. The thing I like to do then is to start kind of in the middle there. So I ended up basically in the middle at 8 clicks, but that was after I set it there. You go on a lap, give it a click in, do another lap. If it feels better, maybe try 1 more click in. If it doesn't feel better, then back it off 1 click, go for a lap. If it feels better, back it off another click. The big thing here is you're not going to want to make any big changes. And once you have your sag set, that's the most important place to start. So get your sag set and then mess with the compression adjustments. It's worth the time, and finding a good baseline can help whether you're racing or just riding somewhere new. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to get out there and ride. You can pick up one of these Ohlins 38s from Jensen USA using the link in the description below. Leave a comment if you have any questions or need a comparison. Goodbye.
Go!
All right, so I'm on in deep. Haven't ridden this line since last year when I broke the slash on it, so I want to get some redemption. Here it goes. Coming! Creep in because I'm scared. Go a little wide. Scrape my foot. Phew!